Doesn't that look nice? Time for a week in review. Hello again. Sorry it's getting out late. I had a very busy morning into the afternoon, so this is the first opportunity I had to do the week in review. Not a real busy comic week, I guess. Mike and I had the big haul on Tuesday, so that was kind of cool, and then Wednesday night chat was a lot of fun. But as far as picking stuff up and buying, I really didn't do that much this week, and that has continued my trend. I've slowed way down, really just focusing on the stuff I really want. As far as news in the comics, one came up, it was on Marvel Entertainment. They had the new head of Marvel on there, C.B. Sapolsky, I think his name is, and he confirmed they're bringing the Fantastic Four back. So I'm glad I've been reading 2 and 1. You kind of get the feeling that was what was going to happen. Hopefully it comes that good. The only downside, the artist is a woman I've never heard of. I think she's newer, so I'm not familiar with her, but her artwork looks great. I looked her up after. The only downside was they said that Dan Slott's doing the writing, and I'm not a big fan of him, so we'll see. Maybe it'll be great, maybe it won't. The only thing I will say, at least he's somewhat of a historian of Marvel, so hopefully he'll stay true to the characters, but we'll see. But you never know. Maybe it could be good. I'll be reading it the first couple issues anyway, so that was good news. I finished my inventory, so I can say I have right around 2,200 comics right now in my possession. What's in those drawers, and then I have 10 short boxes downstairs that are gonna, 9 of them are gonna get liquidated. The 10th box is my landfill collection that's finally back all together again in one box. So it's all the stuff from very early on when I was a kid, the very early books that are just totally tattered and loved and read, and I'm keeping them. I will not get rid of those, so I will do a video on those soon. I did get some slabs back this week. I have, I think it's another 90 to 100 more that'll they're in transition. They're either on their way there or they're there on their way back. So this should be a lot of fun opening those up. I'm pretty excited about that. It definitely, when you start doing it, you get slab fever. You start looking through your collection and stuff maybe you don't care about so much anymore, and it happens to be in pretty good grades. So you send it in, and when you start getting back decent grades and you can sell the stuff and then buy other things, it's really cool. So the 2 I picked up this week, for those that either didn't see them on Wednesday night or didn't watch the 47-minute long video of me and Mike unboxing, I got my Forever People 1 back, and this is the second copy that I had slabbed. And the copy that I'm keeping for myself, I don't know if it's an 8.0, it's just whiter, and that's why I kept it. It's probably a 7.5, I would say, the one I'm keeping. But this is great, just a great book, great cover. One of my favorite Kirby covers. It's just his interpretation on hippie culture, I think, and he tried to weave it into DC, so it's kind of cool. And the other one I got back was Fantastic Four 18, which is the first appearance of Super Skull, and it's just a great Kirby cover. I got a 5.0 on it, which is great. When I bought it, I figured it was about a 4. Mike did his magic on it, and it came out great. So I do have a second one of these that I showed, I think, last week or the week before. And, I think that one will probably come back a little better. I'd be surprised if it wasn't at least a 6. So, that's what we got. So, and this week's sermon, it can be comic, but it doesn't have to be. You can take, I guess these thoughts and apply them to everything in life. I know I do. And the big thing is it's setting goals. Set a goal. And the important thing about setting a goal is to actually take steps to attain that. If you don't plan to get to whatever it is you want to attain, maybe you want to lose 30 pounds, maybe you want to get a new car, maybe you want Fantastic Four #1. If you don't plan on how to get there, it's not going to happen. Someone's not going to knock on your door and say, hey, here's a Fantastic Four #1. I don't want it. How about 10 bucks? It's that isn't going to happen. Likewise with the other 2 things. So you gotta plan. You gotta get some steps. How am I going to do that? So really sit and think about it. And then a key thing that I learned a long time ago, well, not that long, probably about 10 years, I guess that's a long time ago, is if you have a goal, don't tell anyone about it. Don't tell anyone what your goal is. And the reason is your brain will do these things, chemical things, and you can look it up online, and there's tons of TED Talks and people like that that will explain to you all the studies been going on since the 1800s. But the gist of it is, if you tell somebody, you basically let the air out of the balloon, and in your mind you kind of get, you get the rewards for it without actually doing the thing. So then what has been found in studies is people that set a goal and then tell everyone about it, it usually doesn't get done because they've already felt that reward, that good feeling about, yeah, I'm gonna get a new job, or this is the year I'm gonna lose weight, or whatever. And I could tell you from looking at people's lists, some of them, they'll have these awesome lists at the beginning of the year, and by July they've got 2 books crossed off. And sometimes that's just that they put books on there maybe that they really weren't going to be able to get, or had really no idea on how to get. So if you set a goal, just try not telling someone, telling everyone about it, and just go out there and do that thing. It's a big part of that is why on the bottom of my list now I have a question mark on there, because I feel like if I tell what books I'm going to go after, maybe I won't get them, and maybe I won't try as hard to get them. Your subconscious is pretty amazing on what it'll do, and decisions and choices it'll make for you that you'll end up getting to that thing. So set a goal, keep it in your mind, and keep focused on it. Try not to share it with somebody. So now homework. Homework leads right into this. Set a goal. I don't care what it is. You want to run a 5K at a certain time, you want to get a new job, whatever it is. Maybe if it's a comic book thing, that would be kind of fun for this community, but you really can do it for anything. But don't tell anyone about it. Set a goal. Don't get on YouTube and tell everyone. Don't tell your friend groups. Don't tell anybody about it. And then see if you end up achieving it or not, because I think you'd be surprised how much, the higher percentage of things you will achieve if you don't let everyone know that this is what your goal is. So it's kind of a fun thing, but just try it. We'll see. And then I guess weeks later, tell me in the comments how you did. I guess I'll check up on you. Recommendations. I watched the first hour premiere of The Terror that's on AMC. I enjoyed it. Monday night it premiered, the 2-hour, and it's on my, it's recorded on my DVR. I have YouTube TV now, so I have unlimited DVR. It's fantastic, by the way. For anyone thinking of cord cutting, get a Roku device and get YouTube TV. It's $35 a month. It's awesome. I never miss anything. I record whatever I want all the time. But it was pretty good. The sets, everything on it. They picked some great actors. It has that old kind of monster movie feel to it, to where modern movies, they just throw the monster out right away. This, they're making you wait for it. And it reminds me of a Koontz book, because Stephen Koontz books, or Dean Koontz, I'm sorry, does that a lot in his books, and I appreciate that. I like that, where you don't see the monster till right near the end, or maybe you just see a little bit of them. The other thing I saw was Friday night. I watched with my son. I sat down and watched Blade Runner 2049. I loved it. I know some people didn't like it. Critics kind of panned it, but just the sets, and it was beautiful to watch. It was a beautiful movie to watch. I have a home theater in my basement, and sitting back and watching on that giant screen it was breathtaking. And even if you didn't have any dialogue, I would have watched the movie. It was great, and I thought all the actors were really good in it. Spoiler alert: Harrison Ford's in it. Plays a great part. Ryan Gosling's in it. I think he was great. I love the movie. I think actually Dave Bautista was in there too, that plays Drax in the movies. He was in the beginning. So, and he actually can act. I mean, at least in that scene he did. So I can recommend both of those. If you haven't seen Blade Runner 2049 yet, I think it was great. And then The Terror, we'll keep following. This will be my new weekly, I guess, as it comes out. My pick of the week is Arkham Comics Las Vegas. He did a video this week, and it's just your typical, these are the new comics I picked up, and he shows all this stuff, and he's a very, very knowledgeable comic guy. He used to have his own comic shop, and he kind of has a gruffness about him that I appreciate. And I don't know if he's always had that or if he just gained that by owning a comic shop, but at the 4-minute mark is the part that intrigued me. Looking at all the new books, I'm not as interested because I'm not such a new collector. I don't read, so I don't understand what's going on and why something is good or isn't good other than the artwork. But at the 4-minute mark is where to me, it became very interesting where he commented and had thoughts about the current state of interacting with people face to face, not on social media, and how these new kids coming up just completely lack skills to communicate with another person face to face. So if you haven't seen it, I'm going to put it in link to it below. I liked it a lot. I actually watched it twice. So that's my pick of the week, that video. I think it's very thought-provoking, so definitely give it a look. So do your homework. Let me know how you did. Looks like I'm going to be right around 10 minutes today, so that's great. Anyway, till next time.